Hello. So a few days ago, we started a conversation about investing in real estate, and I started out by suggesting that maybe if you have not owned a home before, that you look at a multifamily, duplex, a triplex, something like that. Or if you are an advanced homeowner, you've already owned something, and maybe you're ready for something a little bit nicer as far as investment property. What should you look for? That was my second conversation. So today I thought we should maybe break down what investment property looks like. So, a few things to think about. What should you do? Should you buy a multifamily and have potentially two sources of income or more if it's a triplex? Because then you would have two people paying the rent, and if it was vacant, hopefully it wouldn't all be vacant, right? Or could you buy a single family? Single family homes typically rent for more. So you'd have a different type of renter, maybe a family as opposed to a single person, maybe roommates, and the rent might be a little bit more on a single family home, but you'd only have one person paying that rent, as opposed to on a multifamily, you'd have more than one renter paying rent, right, every month. So those are a couple of things to think about. I don't know that I would recommend necessarily buying a condo as investment property, because you do need to be careful with that. Condominiums typically have homeowners associations. There are rules as to whether you can rent it out, how many rental units can be in a condo association. So that's a whole another thing. So we won't go into that right now. But I think the first thing to do if you are considering investing in property is talk to your lender. The other thing to think about is if you have been a homeowner for a while, you may be sitting with some equity in your home that maybe you can pull out. Now, remember, when you start talking about taking equity out of your home, you're talking about another loan. And I know everybody will say that interest rates are high right now. And honestly, they're not high. They're very close to the national 30-year average for interest rates. But it seems high considering that just a few years ago we were looking at 2 and 3% interest rates. I honestly don't know if we will ever see that interest rate again. However, I don't think a 6% interest rate is that high. Anyway, we'll continue talking about investment property. Hope you will join me. And if you do have any questions, I am happy to be a resource. And as somebody pointed out to me the other day, I didn't tell you how to call me. So here's my number. It's 817 300 5754. Have a great day.